All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Good morning, folks. TGIF.
TGIF. This is CNT episode 22, I believe.
22.
And
Whoa.
we are back for what must be, if it's 22 episodes,
78 episodes away from 100.
we're getting near our 5th month.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. 5 months. I told y'all I'm not sure I told the podcast universe yet. I told the class this morning we've crossed 5,000 listens.
Yeah.
Or downloads or viewers or whatever we're calling it. And then our YouTube channel, y'all watched 7 hours of video this past week, so that's a lot of
crazy.
views. So we're trying to get more content out there, more stuff coming your way. Hope you enjoy it. Today we're gonna have some fun. We'll do our kind of general meet and greet stuff here in the beginning, but we're gonna get to. It was Joel's birthday week.
Oh, yeah.
He does celebrate a little bit like a 16-year-old girl. He talks about it a lot.
I actually don't.
You do.
Until the day of.
Yeah, well, the day of, you posted 6 times, and then your 7th post was, I don't like to talk about my birthday.
That's because I don't.
But you did.
I did not talk about it at all leading up to
You
it.
posted 6 times in a row about your birthday.
Not to my feed.
Yes, that's exactly where I read it.
No.
On my birthday, I wear hot shoes. On my birthday, I'd go drink this.
That was one post. That was all one post.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right.
That was all one post, folks.
I remember when I was a 16-year-old
Although
girl,
my story did have 6 videos thanking everybody. So there's that.
That's true, but that was very nice. I think you were very, very kind. All too often we don't say thank you enough, so I think that was
Very true.
That was a very classy, good move. And
we all need gratitude, folks.
I think it's been a pretty solid week so far.
It's been solid.
You went and saw Venom last night.
That was awesome.
With your sister, so
enjoy it.
We'll definitely get that. You also watched the new Joe Rogan special, so we'll get to that.
I don't want to spoil that for people.
No, you're not going to tell any.
No.
You're not going to tell any jokes.
No,
don't worry about
jokes.
that.
Don't want to offend people.
But let's start with the coffee this morning.
Yes, sir.
A couple things here. So I figured,
different. Yeah.
Knowing that today, believe it or not, folks, we like to have some direction on the podcast.
Yes.
We don't always like to sit down and ramble.
Although the detours are the fun part.
They are the fun part. But usually, we like to have one focus point. So the focus point today will be, I'm just going to ask Joel a bunch of questions about, favorite things and where'd he come from and all that stuff. Because actually, we've never even done an interview before. We should probably do that, a long form.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me about Joel. Where did Joel? So we're going to do a little bit of that, abbreviated fun version of that. Okay?
I'm actually Canadian.
And that'll be the focus today.
That's a joke.
But before that, coffee. And I figured since today was Joel's favorite things as a theme, that we should go to Joel's favorite coffee shop, or we'll say one of. Did we decide it's your favorite?
This will not be exciting.
We kind of decided it's your favorite.
We're just going to just say it. I've always said Slowpokes is my favorite cold brew.
I mean coffee shop. If you
go
to
your frequent.
If you go to your favorite place, I think you're at Boomtown.
Yeah, Boomtown.
Yeah.
Starbucks for the
okay, yeah.
ease of service. I want to talk about Starbucks later too, because yesterday I had one of the nicest ladies ever.
Okay.
Not nice to me, just a nice person. And I was just thinking, why aren't more people like this lady?
Oh, we can go into that because we can talk about who I talked to at the Float Center, because we kind of spoke about that as well. But so we this morning I was like, hey Joel, how long do you think? My thought was that Boomtown would be too far away. I thought you'd have to wait too long.
Yeah.
So we never even thought that Boomtown was an option for coffee and tacos or C&T.
Nope. We thought the distance would be a problem, that it opening at 7 would be a problem, which is not a problem.
And you got back here faster than you do when you go to Morningstar, which is literally a 90-second walk.
Yes.
And a 30-second drive.
And I try to take pictures at Boomtown.
And so you did your whole routine.
Which I failed at.
Yeah, but still, you still try.
Yeah, I still.
Because Morningstar, people were like, "Hey, what took you so long?" Who took pictures? But the reality is, it's not the taking pictures takes a while, and let's not say service. It's people perusing the menu.
Yeah.
And the fact that mom and pop coffee shops, they do not prioritize speed of service.
No.
And I would love to say they prioritize quality, but they don't prioritize that either.
You'd like to say they prioritize quality,
but they don't.
Service.
It's still the same average customer service.
What can I get for you this
They just
morning?
I think that there should be an express lane.
Would you like to try a matcha coffee today?
Stop.
It's earthy and herbal and healthy. No animals are harmed in the process of making this coffee.
You should keep going. This is good.
Not even the plant itself.
This is good.
We massage the plants before harvesting the beans.
Was this the conversation of Boomtown?
No. I'm just just exaggerating.
But Joel got back here like at 7:07.
Yeah, it was probably quicker than that too.
Yeah, like
turns out they open at 6:30.
Well, that makes it easier.
And 7 p.m. on the weekends.
If I send Joel 7 a.m.
I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
A.m. We don't start drinking coffee till the evening, folks.
If Joel goes and snacks coffee for Morningstar, he doesn't get back till 7:25.
This is true.
So he might actually get done with this podcast before class starts, which would be exciting.
We're skedaddling to get this thing rolling.
Okay, but he went to Boomtown, and then so Joel, what'd you get us? Because and I made a request, but
what do you think so far? Before I tell him what it is, what are your initial thoughts about the flavor? Would you dare to say that Johnny Cash over there is better? Or do you think it's because of how?
Would I dare to? I would dare to.
Okay.
But I don't know that'd be right.
No, because it's kind of different.
Right. It's definitely too. I don't feel like it's the same.
It's not. We'd have to try it with the regular.
I would want another taste test.
Me too.
And now that we know we have access, it might be possible. I could go one place, you go the other place.
It's true. But then we'd have to kick everyone out ASAP.
I think we could do that once a week. I mean, I think we do that once a month or something like that.
Yeah. All right, when you gotta leave.
So. Tell them what's in this. Like, tell them what we got.
So, ordered 2 cold brews with a crack rock in each.
What is a crack rock?
Yeah, hold your horses. It's not what you think. A crack rock is.
I miss you too, Mila.
Miss you, Mila. A crack rock is a frozen espresso shot in a cube. It's a cubed espresso shot. It's frozen. So they throw it in there with whatever you order. Your first one is free if you go to Boomtown and you're like, I'd like to try this crack rock all the people have been talking about.
Well, I was going to show them, but it just fell apart.
Yeah, I saw it. I just saw it happen.
I was going to show you guys, like that big.
Ben's crack rock broke.
Like that big.
And it looks like Jax.
Inch by inch?
I think Jax may have eaten it.
I don't think coffee does the same thing to dogs.
I wonder. We're going to find out.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
He's going to start bouncing off the walls. There you go. Anyways, 2 cold brews, 2 crack rock in each one. So an espresso shot, almost like a Johnny Cash, which is why I was trying to make a small comparison between this one and the one we pick up from Morningstar. But I think we'd have to try it with a regular espresso shot first before we decide which one tastes better.
So you would think that if it's in the ice form,
I think it's making a difference.
It does make it, but I think it's more subtle because
Yeah.
it doesn't already mix in with the whole thing. It's kind of emanating just from that source.
Yeah.
And so I think it's not as heavy, but
the flavor
but by the
slowly
time you get
changing.
to the end, I think it'd be rougher because you're basically saving the espresso until it melts.
Right.
So the end's gonna be a punch, but that's kind of nice.
We're gonna find out.
So you actually be able to.
Hey, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, folks.
All right, let that joke play for a second.
Think about it.
That's enough time. Okay. You know what it reminds me of? Back in my day, we weren't talking crack rocks. We were talking alcohol.
Okay.
And you mix a drink, and all the alcohol goes to the bottom. And so you start, and if you want to get somebody, so I used to throw pretty good parties.
Okay. Yeah. I used to too.
I generally have like juice concoctions of some sort, and the trick is, you mix it in a way, and I know this isn't right, bartenders, relax. Okay, relax. This was an unauthorized party.
That's not how you mix your drinks.
But what you do is you get it to where the top is not so heavy.
Okay.
So then he or she is like, yeah, love it. Drinking. And then as they kind of come into inebriation, they're not noticing, they're not as perceptive to the change in flavor as you find the vodka at the bottom.
So there's no straws involved?
Well, that's the straw messes you up.
Yeah, that's
Now the benefit of the straw is you drink more. Okay? So now you can make an evenly distributed drink. And if you make it sweet enough, flavorful enough, they'll drink it fast. And then that way it can be evenly distributed. So they're getting more alcohol. I mean, they're getting a little bit less alcohol, but quicker. So that's still going to hit you. So it's kind of a matter of like slow burn, fast burn.
Yeah.
I could take a shot of espresso, or I could do it this way, where the lovely taste of the cold brew kind of massages me into comfort as espressos release more and more into less and less cold brew. Now we got like an espresso concentrate situation.
Liquid rage.
And now, but I'm already into it. I'm not going to leave a half-drank coffee. I'm gonna get it down.
Yeah.
And so like boom, and now I'm ready for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this. I also with it exploding. I'm fine with it, but like I like the texture of it. That would have actually been good to kind of gnaw on. It would have kind of crushed in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it would have tasted like.
It's,
Like if you went crack rock on a plate and then just kind of like you'd probably have to split it somehow, but just to kind of suck on it or
you
gnaw
know
on
what
it.
you could do? I mean, it would be an overnight thing, but you pour like coffee concentrate into a little tray of ice cubes and put toothpicks in it. Like you put the saran wrap on top.
Yeah.
You throw the toothpicks in that so the toothpicks stick up. And when it's frozen, you got a little coffee popsicle.
I like that.
Coffee cubicle.
Well, you know, speaking of that, people all the time say, "What do I do with my old coffee?" I freeze it. So I make coffee every morning. I know this story, but I've never done it. And I have ice trays. My mom gave me ice trays. Thanks, Ma. I'd always thought I hate ice trays for water because you have to carry them back and forth. But now I just realized I got a bunch of ice trays, and I always have extra coffee. I never drink the full pot. So now I could just
coffee
make
cubes for your coffee.
And then when you want iced coffee later in the day, you then have those coffee cubes with a little bit of iced coffee. So now when the melts, it doesn't water down your iced coffee. You know what it'd be perfect for as I continue my theory here. When you have a cold brew from somewhere else that you did not complete, you can't add more ice because the ice is already melted in there, so it's already mixed in. More ice would water it down. But a coffee cube would cool while also not watering down.
It added more caffeine.
Look
to
at
it too.
that.
Caffeine wasted, folks.
So now, the other day I had 6 unfinished cold brews in my, not from the tasting, like just from like going to Starbucks, not finishing. Yeah. But every time I put ice in, it would water it down more. So that solves that. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So, crack rock. Now, what do you normally get when you go to Boomtown? Just a cold brew by itself?
Just a cold brew, or I mean, it depends. If it's the weekend, I'll get the toddy mocha or the crude, which are a sweeter, more treat-like concoctions that both contain cold brew. And the toddy mocha has an espresso shot, while the crude, I think they both have espresso and cold brew, but one of them is mocha, one of them has vanilla and chicory in it.
Chicory.
So they're definitely sweet. I remember I let you have a sip once. Forgot where we went, and you thought it would be something that you'd have to take your time with, and you definitely do. It's nothing you want to suck down fast.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you want to like just sip on, put down, sip on, put down, sip on, put down.
I think that was the day we tried to go to Lululemon and nobody talked to us.
Yes. No, we didn't try. We went and no one talked to us.
We went and nobody said hi.
No one said
nobody.
hi.
Like we were in there for about 5 minutes and and it's a small store and you're within an arm's reach of us and not like what you looking for? Can I help you? Where are you guys from? Like
I get better service at a Champs or Foot Locker.
That's impressive.
Hey, what can I help you with? You need that in your size? What size you looking for?
Because that 17-year-old doesn't care and he still helps you more than they did.
Yeah.
What else we do?
They're definitely not teenagers there.
We went somewhere else that day.
We tried to go somewhere else.
We went to
saw
Boomtown.
Warehouse.
Just came back here.
We went to Boomtown first because that's when we met up with Mike for lunch.
No. We were waiting for lunchtime. That's right. I remember that.
So Lululemon first, then we went to Boomtown, sat for a little bit, went back to the gym.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Boomtown is, for those that might not know somehow, it's on 19th Street. It's in that fancy little part where all the shops are. Dance House Fitness is right next door. We should get Joel to drop into a class there.
I'll do it.
I think Lulu already goes. She goes to one on Richmond, though. But
Brandy checked it out,
yep.
I believe.
So maybe we should do a little social there. That'd be fun. But 19th Street, if you've somehow not been there,
that'd be interesting.
It'd be it's a lot of fun. A lot of cute little shops. Quaint. The Heights Theater's right there. Ryan Bingham's coming to the Heights Theater. I think November. It's a really cool area. It's like old school. It's like what if you're ever wondering why everybody talks about the Heights, because you know how sometimes like people hold on to the old Heights. It's kind of like Katy. People want to hold old Katy. But if you've never been to like actual old Katy, like you're like, why does this town think it's special? So the Heights is the same way. It was its own kind of entity, and 19th Street's kind of the hub of that. And so if you've never been over to 19th where the shops are, sure, a lot of it's different now. A lot of it is commercially owned. It's a lot fewer mom and pop shops, but they're still there. A lot of antique shops, things like that.
A lot of murals.
And a lot of art. There's art everywhere.
Do you know the one that was like, "You Are My Sunshine"?
Yeah.
Like everyone takes a picture there. It's not there no more.
How dare they get rid of that?
They painted over that. I'm like, what?
How dare they get rid of that? I mean, it wasn't that well done.
I mean, it wasn't that great, but I mean, still, people liked it. People like taking their cheesy photos there.
Yeah.
I did one with my motorcycle.
Well, of course you did. You're an artist. And so 19th Street, it's cool. There's Juice Girls right next door as well. There's a cigar shop.
There's a vegan ice cream shop.
That was what I was
Is
thinking
it
of.
over the moon or it's moon something?
It's gotta be over the moon. It can't be under the moon. And then there's like even the float spa around the corner.
Yes. Is it Urban Floats?
I don't know. The one we're going to is Healing Water.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
one's,
so then
I think
believe
that
it's
one's urban.
Floats.
Yeah.
Urban Floats. And
Um,
they look like eggs.
they're pods.
They're pods.
Yeah. So the one. Okay. So
So
for
you got pods and you got the tank.
so Joel's birthday, I went to Healing Water Float Spa on West Gray, and because we had seen that place, who had gone there? Who's been there? Who told us about it?
I know Kelly goes somewhere else.
I remember someone said go to the one on West Gray. Someone said that to us.
I don't remember.
If you're the one that told us, let us know. We'll give you
Let us
credit.
know.
But Healing Water on West Gray. So if you exit from 45 and you go through Midtown, take that right on Gray. It's past Taft before it lines up next to Barnaby's. So the Barnaby's on the right side. It's the next shopping center, Barnaby's. It's one of the only things in that shopping center. I think it might be the only thing in the shopping center right now. It's owned by a guy named Cyrus, and he's from Iran, and he was an incredible. He had an incredible conversation. I truly enjoyed. He spoke to me for about 45 minutes.
Where are you at?
There, I walked
okay.
in and it was quiet. He had a client coming in 15 minutes after I left, and so we just chatted about a lot meditation, a lot of stuff. What's plaguing us as society, what I could work on personally. Like, he was a great guy to speak to. He is the only employee. I respect that. Respect the hustle. So he's there every day.
How many tanks does he have?
He's got I think A, B, C, and D. So 4 rooms. I think there were 4 rooms. There's
Okay.
definitely 3. I think there were 4. And so it is the in the wall tank. The door opens.
Oh,
You
okay.
climb in. It's like a giant shallow bathtub.
Yeah.
And then it's like 1,000,000 pounds of Epsom salt or something like that. And like, so it gives you buoyancy. If you don't understand float tanks, basically what happens is there's either pods or these, what Joel said, like kind of these caverns inside the wall, and it's enough water, but then filled with magnesium and Epsom salt so that you are buoyant, so you don't touch the bottom. And the idea, and then the water is to your body temperature, and so then within 10 minutes you don't feel anything.
Yeah. Sensory deprivation.
The air and the water is the same temperature as you, so that if you truly give it a chance, you will not be able to tell the difference between the water and the air and yourself.
And it's dark.
And so he made sure to point this out. Most people see the ideal as being pitch black so that you truly can get lost. These tanks, and I think the pods do the same, have an option for LED lighting.
Yeah.
So if you panic about dark or space,
The pods have them too.
you can turn the light on. These actually also have an audio jack. If you have any meditation music you wanted to pipe in, he says a lot of the Texan players use music or like meditations or mantras that get repeated over and over again. And so when he moved to Houston, the first thing he did was he built one of these for J.J. Watt in his home. So this is the place that we're choosing to go. He's going to start a breathwork class. We talked about setting it up here at Black Wolf so that
There you go.
this is Joel and I have been talking about, hey, what do we need to work on? And I realized I've known this for a long time, know thyself. We don't talk to people outside of this gym. We don't really network. And it's funny because that trip to Lulu that we've just brought up as a random story, one of the reasons we went was to like meet him, you know? Yeah, we're not really a Lulu gym. I don't have anything Lulu on right now. I don't think you do either.
Just a bunch of Nike.
But like my ABC pants are my favorite thing in the world, and I would love to have a relationship with that company. And then also Lulu generally does a really good job of staying connected in the community. So we thought we'd go over there, try to lay some groundwork for a relationship.
Turns out not so much.
Yeah, so we're not that interested. And but then this guy, that was discouraging. Like, I know it seems silly, but like I don't need to drive all the way to your store if you're not going to say hi.
Yeah.
And so this guy walked in, man, and he just opened up. I talked to him about the importance of bringing breath work to my athletes, and he said that he was more than willing to do that. He talked about giving us a deal. He talked about setting up the coaches with a discount, setting up our athletes with a membership, like really, really open to some ideas. And so I want to, thank him. It's Healing Waters Float Spa again on Gray. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. I forget. I don't know. So Joel was given some floats for something both of us have talked about doing for a really long time,
Mm-hmm.
and neither of us has pulled the trigger yet. And so I got him a gift card there, so we will be going.
Hell yeah, I can't wait for this.
Joel's got to go at least 3 times. Joel's got to go at least 3 times.
At least 3.
And so there we go.
We're gonna try to go for the 90 minutes.
Well, so I think.
Or does anyone do an hour?
Well, so you have 3 hours right now, 3 individual
okay.
hours. And he did say, like, why don't you start with an hour and not jump all the way to 90 minutes to make sure you're getting it.
I can't even think what it's going to be like because I want to do the whole, like, dark, like, just sensory deprivation. It's got a sweetness to it.
This is good.
It's definitely got sweetness to it.
This is good.
But it doesn't taste like that without the crack rock. I'm telling you, the taste is different. If you just get the regular cold brew, it tastes different.
This is good because it has a flavor, but it doesn't have syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not. There's no artificial sweet.
Yeah, no, there's no syrup in
there's a touch. They managed to touch it with sweetness without making it sweet.
They asked me black, right? I'm like, yeah, don't add nothing.
Yeah, that's what's great. It is definitely a black coffee, but I think that flavor has a touch, like an angel's touch of sweetness. Okay, so this week we've already said it was Joel's birthday.
It's delicious.
So if you don't know, Joel's been with us now 3.5 years. Okay, he hopped in here when he was 23, and then he turned 24 the first year he was with us. Joel's birthday workout has now been run 3 years in a row, so we always like to make a big deal about that.
Glad you kept it at 24 minutes.
I think that's the right call.
Because on the website it said 26.
I know. Joel's mother, who gave birth to this great man, also works out with us at 8:30 most days. She comes into some other times occasionally. And so, like, whole family affair here. Joel's sister, little sister Adrian, hangs out in the evenings here most evenings. And so, like, real Joel family affair going on at Black Wolf. And birthdays are obviously a big deal. A lot of y'all took the opportunity to thank him for all that he does here, and I think that was fantastic.
Very nice, y'all.
A lot of times I think our athletes, I don't want to say have gotten better. I think we've talked about it a lot. Making sure you show appreciation for your coaches. Yes, this is a great job to have.
I mean, they definitely blew me away. It was more than I could have asked for. Like,
well, and I think that's why it's funny because someone that would expect that wouldn't get that much.
Yeah.
And I think your humility, you not thinking that you're deserving of it is why you're deserving of it. I think humility is a lot of what people find attractive or are attracted to you because of. If you're walking around like your shit didn't stink and yeah, damn right I'm your coach, then I don't think that they're as grateful for
obey me
for you.
I'm right and you're wrong. I'm big and you're small.
I did also like that a few of the biggest shows of gratitude were from athletes that have never pushed hard in a class in their life, but that's all right. Hey, you know what? We have a conversation to talk about is one of our old buddies, Nicole, sent me an article from the New York Times, and I don't think we can unpack this today, but I'm going to plant the seed because I do think I'll be talking about it in the future. Basically, like, I think the title's like In Praise of Mediocrity, and it basically talks about like how now even when we try to pick up a hobby, if we're not like Olympic caliber, we quit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, I want to start coloring, but like your coloring can't go in the Louvre or like a museum, you're like, I suck at this. I'm not going to color.
Yeah.
And like how just 20 years ago, people were doing a lot of stuff for enjoyment, even though they were incredibly mediocre at it.
Yeah.
And how now with like everything, all the stimulus that tells you have to be great, like we won't even like do a model ship. Like we won't do any of the stuff that like our grandparents and parents. Now, I think the article left some stuff out. I think we're overstimulated. I think we have too much to stress about. But
too much distracted by too much.
But I mean, think about like just the way we work out. And I bring this up because the first thing I thought about was like, well, what does that mean for an athlete that maybe just wants to move and doesn't want to be the greatest lifter? But then I realized like there's still a difference between like, I think it's great. I actually think it's important that people come in and just want to move.
Yeah. Doesn't
mean they don't try though.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's being okay with not being the best is not the same as coming in and half-assing it. So I had to cross that bridge mentally. But we'll unpack that either at the end of this or at a later date. Let's get back to your birthday. So I want to talk about kind of your birthday week. You did some fun things. I know the biggest thing you were looking forward to, well, I think the thing that you had full control of that you were looking forward to the most was the Joe Rogan special.
Yeah.
So you got to sit and watch that, and you said, I wanted to watch it uninterrupted, and you got a chance to do that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You did watch it in the middle of the day, though.
No.
Did you watch it at night?
It was at night.
Did you watch it the night before?
Yeah, so it came out Tuesday on the 2nd.
Okay.
So I waited till Tuesday night since I didn't have to wake up early on Wednesday.
So like birthday present.
Yeah, pretty much.
And how was it?
It was great.
Great?
It was great. It was Joe Rogan. It was all Joe Rogan. It was amazing. It was good. It was so good. I laughed the whole time.
Okay. Our special on Netflix.
Yeah, our special on Netflix.
Is it called Triggered?
No. That was the previous one.
Okay. What's this one
Which this one is called. Holy crap! I'm spacing out. Strange Times.
Okay. Seems appropriate for him. That's how I feel like that's how he sees the world right now.
Yeah, that's
he's like, whoa, this is weird.
That's definitely how he sees the world, and that's everything he talked about was strange. Like everything he talked about, vegan cats, stuff like that. Like it's interesting. You see someone out there?
No,
That's good. Chris actually watched it already. Chris and Chloe actually watched it. James watched it. Like had a few people tell me they watched it. They enjoyed it. It's pretty good. It's got something for everybody.
Well, good.
Doesn't leave any stone unturned.
No, he's not that type.
No, he's not.
So better than his boys like Bert and.
I still haven't gave Bert's a chance.
I got about 15 minutes in. It was funny. It just wasn't. It wasn't my. It didn't hook me. I had a little window where like if it was gonna be great, I was gonna be able to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I watched 15 minutes and like. He takes his shirt off, and I already told you that was like.
Yeah.
But then I decided I was being ridiculous. You know what?
Machine.
So it's fun. What's interesting is. It's really easy to judge people, right?
Yeah.
And especially like TV shows and stuff like that. Like, oh, I don't like that actor. I don't like when this character or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I learn more about that is the stupidest shirt.
Oh, man. It gets worse.
Is that a Kanye shirt?
Have you seen what Balenciaga did?
I don't know who that is.
Balenciaga's a brand.
Balenciaga.
Is that Balenciaga?
Balenciaga's shirt can be yours for $1,200.
Well, they got one that's worse.
It's probably coming up. I bet they get to
Okay,
it.
so think A Christmas Story.
Okay.
Where they put all the clothes on.
Yes.
That one kid puts all the clothes on.
Yes.
Well, think of an article of clothing that's like that, and it's like $1,400. The fashion industry is messing with you, folks.
Oh.
They are definitely messing with you. Those who are into fashion.
Okay.
They are making fun of you as they watch you put on everything you wear.
So I was
I don't care what Kanye said.
like kind of like the it's easy to criticize. So where this started for me was Toby Flenderson from The Office.
Sorry.
A lot of people don't like Toby, the character on The Office and whatever. And so
Seven watched the show.
the actor that plays Toby, he's a writer. He wasn't supposed to be an actor. He didn't want to be in the show.
Which one is he?
He's the homely looking, slightly balding,
Okay.
pale white guy
Okay.
that does. He's human resources
Okay.
in the show. So he's the guy that tries to keep Michael in check. So every time Michael gets weird, he's like, Michael, you can't do that. Like he's corporate. Like he's basically representing corporate. Michael hates Toby, eternal enemies kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so he always picks on Toby. And Toby's always kind of like this like unassuming like he's very much a victim in the show. Like he always gets picked on. And then people like hate him for it. And you're like,
So funny.
he's the only one doing his job. Like
Yeah.
how dare you hate him? But like the actor himself, and so a lot of people like it's how we are. If we don't like a character, we then don't like that actor. We're like, oh, I hate like the guy that plays Jared. Like, oh, I hate that guy. And you're like, well, that seems weird. Every time now I've read about or heard an interview outside, I then fall in love with who they are, and it makes me make sense. Like, I was listening to, so I don't like the show The League on FX.
Okay.
Where they do the fantasy football league thing.
Uh-huh.
But like if you, and one of those guys made some comments as a stand-up that were not appropriate, I think a couple years ago about 9/11. So like, screw that guy. But like one of the main characters who was just in, I'm going to forget the movie. I heard an interview. If you hear their struggle, you hear what they did to come up. Like all of these people are awesome. All of these people have worked harder and grounded out more than we're willing to. And like, I just think I've jumped to conclusions too often. And so, sorry to
We all do.
but like I bring up Bert. The reason I never would have watched that, but then I watched him get interviewed on Sober October episode of Joe Rogan, and like I liked him a lot, man. Like he's a regular dude, and like he tells stories like
in Travel Channel and stuff like that. Like
it's really really cool. And so I always think it's fascinating. Now that we have access, I almost think that if you're gonna judge someone outright, and it's also made me think more about like how I didn't like Breaking Bad in the first season, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, you got to get through the first. I was like, I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's the same? The Office. First season sucks. The only reason you like the first season is
Tell me
because you've
that.
already seen the second and third season. You come back and watch it, then it's funny. But if you watch the first season by itself, it is so uncomfortable, and you don't know what they're doing. You know, another show that sucks in the first season, Parks and Recreation. Terrible first season. Then you come back and you find out the reason the first season sucked was because they thought it was going to be an Office spinoff, and they had to fight their own way into finding who they were.
I don't think I remember thinking that when I started watching Parks. I feel like I won't have any issue getting into
It's
The Office.
awkward. The characters take on like different personalities because they don't know who they're going to be, and they settle in by the end of the first
I
season.
think I like that kind of stuff though.
So
Naturally.
they try characters that don't come back, and like but then they get it. And then if you go back and watch the first season again, it's actually really good. But like, sorry, I guess it's just kind of like
Don't judge too quickly.
Don't
judge a book
assume
by its cover.
things we know. We talked about that in the book club last week. Don't make assumptions. And so I'm an asshole. I make assumptions. I'm working on that. Anyways,
We
so
all
Joe
make
Rogan was
assumptions.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Then your birthday came. You had
I actually watched it twice.
you had your birthday workout.
Birthday workout.
You got to hop in with
I
4:30.
do not remember it being that bad.
Well, maybe you're fitter now, so you made it harder.
Possibly. But damn it. The worst part was the swings into the front squats. Like that was just the worst part. My back was on fire. Like I was like, I'm not
on fire.
because I mean like the whole time thinking like this is my workout.
Yep.
I'm not gonna put this bar down in
Gotta
front
go.
of these people. I gotta go.
Gotta go.
If I start something, I gotta finish that movement all the way through.
Yep.
So
And you did it. And then last night you went and saw Venom.
yes. Took my little sister to go watch Venom.
Took Adrian to see Venom, Tinseltown 290.
Yes.
Have they updated that theater? Is it nice inside? What I haven't
It's a lot
been.
better. The arcade's a lot better. All the lights work on the outside.
Nice.
They got like the XD, 3D XD thing. I just did the XD because I wanted all the sound and everything. I hate 3D.
Did you get there for previews?
I may have missed one.
What was your favorite preview?
I honestly don't even remember.
It's a great start. Okay, how was the movie?
The movie was good. It was very good. I'd watch it again.
You'd watch it
I'd
again.
watch it again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Also, I missed the post-credit scene. I caught one of them, but there's two of them. I found that out on YouTube, that there's two of them. No spoilers. So I have to go back and watch it again.
Okay.
But I would. Like, it's definitely an entertaining movie. It didn't blow me away.
Right.
But it was definitely entertaining. And also my sister having a blast watching it was also entertaining because she was all like, she would get excited when Venom was doing his thing.
Was it entertaining? Like I'm seeing it as like entertaining. Like Transporter was entertaining. Like not again. It's not going to win an award.
No, it's not going to win an award.
The drama, the script is not. You had kind of mentioned you had read that the script was the weakest part,
Yeah.
but that the movie was really like was
good.
fun to watch.
It was fun to watch. It was
Okay.
fun to watch.
I like that.
That's one of those you just play in the background.
And then you and I had talked about a little bit during class, like Tom Hardy does a great job
Yeah.
playing off himself.
Yeah.
And that there's not many actors that can do it that well.
Mm-hmm.
And you had said you had read that he was like listening
he was,
to
like,
he
listening to himself.
had recorded once, and that was being played into his ear,
Yeah,
and he was
he's-
responding to the recording.
Correct. Yeah. And his Venom's voice is his voice. Like it's all him.
He's great at voices. He got Bane's voice.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
So Tom Hardy was Bane. For those that somehow don't know that.
Yeah, he's one of the greats.
And then we talked. Joel, I don't think Joel's seen the movie, but the movie Legend, he plays
I've
Tom
not seen
Hardy
it.
plays twins. He plays both characters. It's about two English twins that end up running, I think, a crime family. It's a little long, but it's a great.
When did that come out?
3 years ago. 2 years ago.
Because this sounds familiar.
Yeah. So it
It's
didn't
recent.
because it's from like it's right after World War I, I think, like, or maybe World War II. Like it's a timepiece, like. And it wouldn't have. There's action, but not like lights can't like not fancy action. Like
No.
people die because they're a crime family, but not like big explosions kind
It's
of thing. So like
Crime drama.
media wise, it didn't get that much coverage. Again, it's the opposite of Venom. It got awards, but it didn't get. It wasn't like people were like, "Oh, it's fun." Your sister would not have liked it.
No.
You had to like watch and learn about the characters and the two brothers and their dynamic. But Tom Hardy had to do the same thing. He had to act off somebody that wasn't there because he can't be in two places at once. So I'm fascinated by Tom Hardy. He's my biggest man crush. Got no problem saying that.
There's a lot of people that think the same.
And then, are you going to Austin this weekend?
Yeah.
You had posted that on
Yep.
the interwebs.
It was like it wasn't even I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like, hey, let's go to Austin for the night. And then people were like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. Like, and it just snowballed from there.
So it was your idea?
Yeah,
Why you say it like that?
because it was like,
Did you think it'd be a real idea?
no, no, but that's the kind of friends I
So what are y'all going to do?
probably just go to 6th Street.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably just walk around the bars. We're gonna be there for the mid-afternoon into the night, and then come back early the next day around noon. We'll
Now-
be back by noon. It's
now
a short trip.
Just to be aware, ACL's this weekend.
Yes. So
it's going to be a disaster up there.
yes, I know. I know this because I went there for my 21st birthday.
So you
it's-
always, whenever you'd go, you'd have to be ACL's same weekend, right?
yes.
It just kind of stays around the same weekend.
It's the
So
same
if you
weekend
went,
every time.
you'd be.
The first time I went, I was like, "What is ACL? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is it so packed? So
That's all right.
yeah, first time I went, it was ACL, and then this time going, like we knew it was ACL again, so everything's expensive.
Yeah.
So, but we got like 9 people going, so now
Awesome,
we're
man.
gonna split an Airbnb.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so far with how many we got going, it's gonna be like $50 a piece.
Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. So it'll be entertaining to watch all the people out there. That's another fun thing about 6th Street, like the walks of life that are out there.
Yes.
It is interesting to see. So you got ACL, you got people banging on. I remember last time I went there was like random dudes banging on drums, just trying to make money. People playing out like it was. I haven't been in forever, so that's why it was just like, hey, let's go, and they're like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, okay, let's go.
No, man. If you went when you were 21,
2013.
yeah, you've been more recently than I have. I haven't gone probably since, at least 9 years, 10 years, maybe a decade.
Oh wow.
Maybe a decade.
Oh wait.
I went to college
We
in
don't
Georgetown, which is about an hour north, and so we came down a lot my freshman year. How'd you get in bars? Don't worry about it. And then when I went to UTSA, we made a few trips up. Never a good plan. Never, ever a good plan. I danced with the Jabberwockies one time.
Oh what?
Yeah, it turned out to not actually be the real Jabberwockies. They could dance.
Yeah.
It was Halloween, and
Okay.
they dressed up. It was when they were on that MTV show, when they first kind of emerged, whatever show they got popular on.
That show was awesome. I forgot what it was called.
It wasn't So You Think You Can Dance. It was
No.
like it was the first dance show, I think.
Yeah, it was like the first dance competition show.
Kind of set it off
I wonder if it was before or after Dancing with the Stars.
before.
Was it?
Yeah,
Dancing with
or maybe about the same time.
I think about the same
I
time.
think it was
Have to find
after Step Up.
Step Up.
Channing Tatum came out.
Yeah.
I think he kind of started the mainstream
Well,
dance
you got
stuff.
served. I don't know.
Oh, you got served. That was
That was hit back in the day. I was in middle school. I
that
believe.
about the same time though? You know how movies that like Ants and A Bug's Life came out at the same time?
Yeah.
Like if a Western comes out, like you haven't seen a Western forever, and now there's like 3 Westerns coming out. And you're like, and from 3 different like production houses. You're like,
Yeah.
you didn't have this idea, now you all 3 had this idea. That's
Yeah.
weird. And so I feel like the dance movies. I think you got served in like Step Up the Street. No, Step Up.
It's Step Up.
Just Step Up.
There's Step Up to the Streets, and then there's 2 other ones or 3 other ones after that. I only made it to the second one.
Just leave it a Step Up. Step Up.
I may have seen the third one, but Step Up.
Channing was only in the first 2, right? Or was he even in the
I
second
don't
one?
even think he was in the
But
second one.
I think his wife was in the second one.
Maybe.
Because that's his wife. His wife was his
None of them were in the second one.
co-lead in the first one.
And aren't they divorced now?
I think they are. And because everyone's like, if they can't stay together, who can stay together? And then he did Magic Mike,
Yeah.
which is just Step Up
He
with
likes dancing movies.
less clothes. Well, if you're him and you can move like that, goodness gracious.
Who has a great bit about that? Oh, Louis C.K. Who's on the comeback, by the way?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You want to unpack that? Probably not.
I
I'm
like
gonna,
Louis C.K.
I'm gonna answer it for you.
I like Louis C.K.
You're not-
It's definitely a weird subject. I will say there's levels to this thing. There's definitely levels to this thing. He came out and apologized, unlike others. He's going to have a slow comeback. I think he's going to have a heavy comeback for sure because he's one of the greats. He just had an awkward thing going on. And to be in that situation is weird. Like, I just don't understand how you could be a victim of that. Like, I'm going to walk out now because of what's going on.
Well, yeah, and so I guess that's the debate. He got kind of thrown into, and I mean, we both listen to the same stuff, so we're probably gonna say the same things. But he was
They took everything away from him.
No, right. He was reported at the same time like Bill Cosby was being reported and like.
But that's way worse.
No, and that's
he might be the worst rapist.
He was at the front of the Me Too movement with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, and the difference is that Louis.
Joe Rogan talks about that in his special. It's interesting.
Louis did not assault anybody.
No, he just did something gross.
Well, in fact, and that's what it is. He was just a weirdo. He didn't. At least even the reports, if they said no, then he did not, and if they said yes, then he did. And so it's like, well, if they said yes.
Yeah.
But then, and there's nuances to that too.
Mm-hmm. Like there's for everything.
He hasn't been out for a year. He's basically been shut out for a year.
Yeah.
The issue though is that he's coming back and he's not addressing it. Like he's just acting like. So he's gone to not open mic, but he's gone to some comedy club twice now.
Yeah.
Without telling anybody, just walking in, as a lot of comics do.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times a very famous comedian will come in to work new material. So that's not uncommon. But the problem is he's getting on stage and he's not. It's almost like business as usual.
Yeah.
And that's the debate. Is like, how much do we like? If we know you did something wrong, how much do we like beating you over the head with it?
Yeah.
Where's the line of where it's appropriate, where it's not appropriate?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like, he's got a weird thing. It was a weird thing. But it's nothing compared to what else we're dealing with. And also, again, if they said no, he didn't do it. Like, it's a weird thing.
And
he's also incredibly unattractive.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes it even weirder.
Yeah. And he talks about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like one thing people said, like if you've heard his jokes, when I heard his jokes and I heard that happened, I was like, I wasn't surprised.
The show is called America's Best Dance Crew. Thank you, Janai.
There you go. Son of a biscuit-eating bulldog. There you go. That's it. Wow. Well, you might as well give us the information. Which came first, Dancing with the Stars or America's Best Dance Crew?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and Google that for us, Janai. Thank you very much.
Also, You Got Served or Step Up. Which one was first?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a weird thing. I mean, like, he did a gross thing. I'm sorry, but if that messes you up as an adult.
Well, yeah, and I think that's where
I just don't get that. Okay, here's where people get really mad. Reverse
hold on.
the roles.
No. What we're leaving off is the potential interpretation of power.
Yeah.
Now, what his friends will say is that he was nobody at that time. He was not famous. He wasn't a celebrity yet. You didn't go, oh, Louis C.K. wants me to do something, I better do it.
Yeah.
But we don't know that was the environment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not famous, but if I'm not careful, I could make someone feel that way. Because I am still, in a way, above, especially if they're working for me.
Yeah.
Even at athletes. I mean, man, the sexual misconduct in CrossFit gyms is extremely high. And it's because coaching is a very intimate profession. Like, we're talking about bodies moving through space. We've talked about this before. And, like, there's even tactile feedback. And, like, there is a time where touching someone's hip is appropriate and necessary even. And there is a time where touching someone's hip is not appropriate in any way. And we're not talking about
squatting.
We're not even talking about anywhere dangerous. We're talking like literally it could be the outside of the hip. I don't care. We're not talking about what about the butt. I'm saying literally if I touch your hip at all, there is a time where it works and there is a time where no matter what.
Don't touch the butt.
But if I'm the boss or I'm the coach, if you look up to me in any way and I do that, you may pretend it's okay because you don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really coming out in this discussion. And so it's about the person that could be perceived as being in power taking responsibility for their position. If I know that I could easily be misinterpreted, then I do have a responsibility for that.
Yeah.
If I have you do something for me, and if I say something and you could interpret it as you have to do it, and I didn't even mean that you have to do it, I truly meant only if you want to.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about anything weird. It could be something mundane. If I make a passing comment about some chore, and then you're like, well, shit, he probably means I have to do that.
Yeah.
and then it's something that's going to require extra time, or in this case, sexual misconduct, where it's going to require you to put yourself in a position. So I do think it's more. I do agree. If I ask whether I can do something in front of you or not, in a vacuum, if you say yes, there should be no harm.
Mm-hmm.
You said yes. You could have said no.
Yeah. Guys are stupid.
But we're not in a vacuum, though.
Guys are stupid.
And we have to take into consideration that, like,
she's
my assistant.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not happy with her performance, then I'm going to fire her or dock her pay or whatever. And although this has nothing to do with the performance, she might feel pressure.
Yeah.
She's an up-and-coming coach here, or if I'm a comic like him, she's an up-and-coming comic. And if she says no, then I'm not going to feature her. Mm-hmm. So I do think we have to – and then never mind, like, groupthink. Like, there is something, even though, like, it's weird, and probably another person in our team would think it's weird too. Mm-hmm. If I make a fuss – I don't know if that person knows about it. I don't know if I'm going to be the pariah because I didn't want it. So I don't think it's as simple as she could have said no.
No. Or walked out.
Or why didn't you just leave if it was going to scar you? I mean, and also, like, there's also in the final piece, like, you don't really know what you're getting into until you do it.
Yeah.
And, like, that would be weird.
That'd be really weird.
But does a man deserve to never work again? I think it's a really dangerous. I mean, not dangerous. I think it's a really tough path to tread, and I don't want to. I don't feel terribly sorry for him because I'm pretty sure he could just retire and be fine. But I do think that if he comes back, I think what we're struggling with in this country right now, among other things, is we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves. We want to take responsibility for others. So instead of me working on me being a better person, like a whole life better person, I'm going to pick at what you do wrong. Like, man, Joel, you really should do that better. Yeah. Now, there's a time and place for that maybe, but, like, I'm not
that because you got to do better?
No, I think it often is. I think, like, think of all these incredible social justice warriors, and I don't mean the real ones. I mean the ones that are like keyboard social justice warriors. Yeah. That have never interacted with minorities, have never interacted with homosexuals, have never interacted with anybody that needs to be spoken for or allied with. Yeah. They're going to bang the keyboard in the fight, but they've like, okay, when was the last time you? And I mean, honestly, I think we could erase the qualification, the minority part. I think we could just go with, like, when have you interacted with someone that's not yourself? That's not your same income bracket. You're not your same affluency. And like, oh, well, I do on the internet. And you're like, okay. And so I do think that if I know I have shortcomings, I like to see what else is wrong in the world. Yeah. Be like, oh, man, did you see this Kavanaugh stuff? This is a disaster. And it's like, well, you didn't go to work today because you're lazy and you talk shit to your kids and you're a bad boss. And you're like, yeah, but Kavanaugh, man, we gotta step up for sexual assault survivors. And you're like, well, that's true. But you should probably take care of yourself. Yeah. Because if you take care of yourself, then you're going to rub off on somebody else to take care of themselves, and they'll take care of themselves. And now suddenly it spreads. Yeah. Just like mediocrity spreads like a disease, just like entitlement spreads like a disease, improvement spreads. Yeah. If I'm around you and you're constantly improving, then I want to improve. Because it sucks to be the only one not getting better.
And no one focuses on that. They focus on all the bad shit.
Yeah, because if I point it out in you, it makes me feel better about myself. If I'm like, well, Joel can't tie his shoes, then it's okay that I've eaten like shit for a week. Like,
that makes sense.
I mean, I'm a little racist, but Joel's really racist. Like, yeah, I don't actually want to be in the room with a black person, but like Joel says the N-word. And you're like, what? God. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
My goodness.
You know? And so, yeah, I do think we like to point fingers.
I've seen the craziest thing on social media.
Like with Louis C.K., here's the deal, man. Don't watch a special. Yeah. Or watch a special. It doesn't matter. Yeah. If he's in the room, walk out. If you're called to walk out, walk out.
People want to be there and be like, no.
That's the thing. And, I mean, we're not talking Brock Turner who raped a girl behind a dumpster and then only had to sit in jail for like 2 weeks. We're not talking about something like that,
or
you know?
Or what's his name, the gymnast guy? I forgot his name.
Dr. Nasser, who has molested every female athlete known to man at Michigan State with everybody knowing, and we're just cool. We're not talking about that. So, like, if that guy walks on stage, screw that guy. Yeah. Why haven't the cops, like, whatever, man. Like, get him out of there. But, like, I just think, but then again, what if he's still doing it? And maybe it's not that degree. What if it?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's the action. I think it's the thought that you have the right to ask, the right to put someone in that position.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like you should probably think twice before you ask your girlfriend to do something like that.
Yeah.
Much less a stranger or a coworker or an assistant,
Mhm.
an employee. I think that's probably what gets lost is we go, well, the action wasn't that egregious, but what we're not understanding is that he or she was it Spacey that was walking around just grabbing dicks?
Yeah, it's Kevin Spacey.
Just grabbing dicks.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't that come out? Well, because probably that grip or that boy, like whatever, like grip, sorry, position, not what Kevin was doing. Sorry. Okay. We'll talk. The lighting guy or the mic guy didn't want to get kicked off the set for causing a fuss. And I mean, it was just a little dick grab. Like, I'm sure, like, how bad was it? Like,
Bro, stop that.
yeah, ha, ha, ha. Like, uncomfortable laughter and we move on. Oh, wait, no. Kevin thinks he's entitled to do that. That's the problem. And therefore, it's going to escalate because everything humans do escalates.
Yeah.
Give an inch, take a mile. That's a thing. It's a saying because it's true.
Yeah.
And so, like, someone, even if you somehow aren't affected.
Mm-hmm. Someone else's.
Look, man, I had a friend years ago, and at one point,
But okay, so like back to that, does that make me wrong for still being his fan, even though I don't condone that behavior?
can we use people for what they're good at while acknowledging they're not great, that they're not infallible?
Yeah.
You know, I look up to Walt Disney a lot, and let me say this: for those of you that are going to give me your Wikipedia, he was an anti-Semite. He was not. I've done more research than you. Okay, there's no evidence of that, but he was also very much a product of his times. He did not think highly of women. He did not think that they really had their own ability to create, their own ability to think. And so when I'm learning from him, you know what I'm not trying to be like? I'm not trying to be like Walt Disney the human.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm still
Trying to be creative.
absolutely a student of what he built,
Yeah.
because what he built is great. And so I don't know, and if I'm wrong for that,
Everyone's going to Disneyland.
I think
Like Mickey Mouse.
none of our heroes are infallible. I remember John Wellborn wrote a blog post that was called No Heroes. And actually one of the names I had for this place before I found out I'd get the first name, which was Black Wolf, was CrossFit No Heroes. Because we talk about comparison's a thief of joy, but everybody that's ever done something great is just a human. They're just like us. They screw up like we do.
What did Elon Musk say? Happiness is reality without expectation.
Yes. And so you look at Steve Jobs, he was a very flawed human. Elon Musk is a flawed human. Like, we have gifts, we have flaws. It's our managing of those.
Mm-hmm.
And so now with someone that you're constantly paying money to, because I mean, if you're consuming, and that's a little bit different. Like if you went to a show, I mean, I don't know, man. People still go to Chris Brown shows.
Yeah.
And he beat the shit out of Rihanna, and we know it, and it's true, and nobody said it wasn't true, and everybody knows it's true.
Everyone knows
and
it's
he's had
true.
incidents since, and we still celebrate Chris Brown.
He's still selling his Black Pyramid clothing brand.
I mean, so like,
Girls are still flocking his way. He's a handsome devil that knows how to sing and dance.
so like, what does that mean? For me, and only for me,
You know what? Harvey Weinstein's ugly.
this does not make me a better person
Louis C.K.'s
at all.
ugly.
I'm not a great, like, this is not anything other than, for me, moral fiber matters to me. And it is hard for me to cheer for you if I don't know that you take pride in the direction your moral compass points.
Okay. What are your thoughts on what Elon Musk had said about that one dude in was it Thailand?
The pedophilia.
Yeah. So there's that accusation that Elon made. That would bring him down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, lashing out.
He lashed out at him. And it wasn't true, right? Like he was just
There's no, I don't believe any evidence was ever brought forward.
yeah.
I think
Didn't he retract that?
I think he did retract it because as a CEO, you're not. That's slander, defamation. He tried to connect dots between this Englishman moving to Thailand, where unfortunately there is a sex trade of young boys, and jumping to pedophilia. And he did it in response to this diver calling his submarine a joke.
Yeah.
So he did it reactionary.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be reactionary, folks. Even the smartest people are reactionary.
That's some smart motherfucker.
That
Sorry.
being said, I don't know if that does that.
That was everyone was gonna see that shit. He has followers,
Right. No, I agree with that. That's
so
fine.
he knew what he was doing.
But like, is saying dumb shit
like
the same as behavior?
I don't know. He got in trouble for that one puff of marijuana, which is legal in the state he was in.
Right. But I actually liked him more for that.
Yeah.
I got behind him more for doing that. I think the comment is something where.
And he recently had.
And this is dangerous, man. Because what about someone that has a racist tweet from 10 years ago? What about someone that said they hate black people 10 years ago?
10 years ago, and it still sticks. And I guess people don't change, is what they're saying. Like, I still think it's bullshit that that race car driver is suspended because his dad said some racist shit.
30 years ago. 40 now. 40 years ago.
Too long ago for it to be.
The kid wasn't
thing.
even on the earth. Kid didn't get born until 93. Comma was in 81, I think.
Oh, you have those racist genes. Some things are being taken out of proportion. Some things.
Some things, and
Not
some
all things.
things are being glossed over.
Yeah.
And that's life, right? Everything's both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think Louis C.K. is a great example of it. What he did at the surface was not awful, and I bet in some of the instances that it occurred, there was no ramification.
Yeah.
You know, but that doesn't mean there wasn't someone that what was unsaid was the pressure that you must comply.
Yeah.
There are women that have had sex under that same pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it assault? Technically, she didn't say no. But, like, the man not knowing his power or knowing his position, and I'm sure there have been instances where the woman's used that power and position too, so this can go both ways. But right now we're talking about victims, and it doesn't have to be physical pressure. There can be mental or emotional. Harvey Weinstein never forced anybody to have sex.
No.
But he did say, if you want in my movie, you're getting naked right now. If you want in my movie, you're going to blow me right now. If you want in my movie, we're going to sleep together right now. I mean, that was... And he had incredible power. So that's damn near the same as holding someone down. In an industry where, until recently, it was kind of expected that some shady dealings take place, especially for females, which is not awesome.
No.
You know? Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that you have to choose your own path. I think that if you can consume, and I mean this, if you came in and said, man, the new Louis C.K. special was awesome, it wouldn't cross my mind that you're wrong for watching that.
Mm-hmm.
But it also wouldn't cross my mind that I should go watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't get to judge you for what I think a lot of times we say that and it's like, but I am judging you. I genuinely mean it. Like, it's the same as if I'm not a fan of another comedian. I'm just not a fan. It doesn't mean that you can't be a fan. It's just I don't get their humor, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think you have to. If you analyze it and go, hey, I get it. He served his time.
Yeah.
There's got to be hope for redemption, right?
Yeah. Forgiveness.
We've
Is
all
that a
done.
thing or no?
We've all done awful stuff.
Yeah.
We've all made people feel bad about themselves. We've all put people in positions. Sure, I hope it's not sexual assault for sure.
Yeah.
But like, we're not so above this. We're not so above. I didn't make my girlfriend do something she didn't want to do. Again, doesn't have to be like literally anything.
Everyone manipulates someone else somehow, some manner.
So the lesson is, how would you want to be treated on your comeback?
Yep.
And then what is your obligation to learn from it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you just have to analyze that.
It's just sticky right now.
Yeah.
There's no protocol for what's going on right now.
Man, that was deep. All right. How do we get there?
I don't know. It was supposed to be my birthday episode. I got 10 minutes. Hey, everyone. I had a great, great birthday. Y'all overwhelmed me with love. And I highly appreciate it.
There was a lot of love.
I highly appreciate it. Got caked in the face.
How are all those balloons doing?
They're still floating. They're still floating.
They're just all over your house now?
Yeah. Well, I've consolidated them.
I mean, you had probably 8, 9 balloons?
Quite Quite
a lot.
Quite a lot of balloons.
Balloon
yes.
game was strong.
I couldn't see out my back
I
window.
can't. That was
out
not
of my rear
not a
view.
safe drive.
Was not. All I had were my side views, and that's it.
Then you got a shit ton of banana muffins.
Gluten free.
And I saw a bunch of socks.
Yes.
Bunch of socks.
Someone needs to tell me now, who's the black bag that didn't leave the tag? Who are you? Got me Harley Davidson socks. Pretty freaking awesome.
Okay, we'll find out. Mystery.
So someone let me know that. I need to know who this is.
Okay.
So I can properly thank you. Unless there was a card with it.
Well, that I didn't read. I threw it out. There's no money in it.
Where'd the card go?
So what of the let's not.
I got to wear the Venom socks. So I got Venom socks. I got to wear them yesterday.
So what's the favorite thing you got?
I can't say this is a favorite thing. Everything was so thoughtful. Like things that people heard on the podcast. Like I got a lot of dark chocolate and I got almonds and stuff. Like whoa. Like they obviously heard me talk about
that.
Things,
is pretty cool.
Because I don't ever talk about stuff like that. Socks, because everyone always sees me in socks. So
yeah,
it's just.
No,
nice
you're right.
letters,
That's
like,
huge, man. Because I think one, it's great that anybody. There's Janai.
That looks like a present.
That's definitely a present. Hi, Janai.
Hello, Janai.
It's not breakable.
Thank you, Janai.
So speaking of birthdays, why don't you open that right now so we can awkwardly talk about it?
We could.
What a terrible
Look
present.
at this fancy bow. Let's see. So that way the mic can hear the noise.
Joel loves putting noise in the microphone.
Yes. Abstract noises.
At least it's not bodily noises.
Oh, yes, this is so a Janai thing.
Perfect.
Rick and Morty socks. Look at that. Get on here, bro, because you're in the way. You're in the way.
Hi,
There you
buddy.
go.
Hi, buddy.
Park it right there, bud.
He's a good boy.
Jax is back. Check it out. Oh, well, Instagram's on.
Yours is off.
Facebook is still on. There you go.
Those are pretty awesome.
Swifty, which was the name of our group meet for the fitness. I mean, the nutrition challenge
Nice.
was time to let's get Swifty, something like that. I forget.
So you're going to Austin this Saturday. Any other birthday shenanigans?
Tonight I'm gonna go out for a little bit. We've already agreed that no one's gonna get crazy since I come in. I coach in the morning, and then I've mentally prepared for it to be a tight weekend. So
You're going to be busy.
it's gonna be a busy birthday weekend.
You're going to be busy.
I'll probably do brunch or something with the family next Sunday. My mom's gonna be working Sunday, so we can't do lunch.
Yo.
I'm gonna be back early Sunday, which is even better because I didn't want to spend the whole Sunday out there. Because Sunday's usually the prep day, get the groceries, cook the sweet potatoes.
And if you don't leave Austin early, you get stuck in the traffic on the way back.
Yeah. So we'll be back around noon.
Awesome.
James and Karen got a wedding. They booked the Airbnb for me, so everyone's pitching in. They got a wedding at 5, Sunday wedding. Goodness. One of my other buddies, he's got to volunteer at church at 4, so we're gonna be back early, which is perfect. So it's everything's gonna be it's all working out fantastic.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Again, thank you for everybody. I'm highly appreciative. Very grateful for y'all. Y'all make everything worth it. So thank you so much.
Yep. All right. This has been
This is an interesting podcast.
the Joel birthday hour with sexual assault discussion.
Set with the discussion of sexual assault.
But this
Go float.
coffee was awesome, man.
Go to Boomtown.
We got so Joel and I are here tonight and tomorrow. Amanda is here
Also,
on Sunday.
don't forget,
Check out the hats.
check out the hats.
If you haven't been on Facebook Live, I think he showed it on Instagram Live earlier.
I did show it earlier. So
We got new snapbacks.
New snapback.
The Vowless Black Wolf with established HTX 2014 on the bottom.
When they were making them, they were like, "These are the best hats we've ever made. Y'all guys are
And it's
geniuses."
the puff monogram. It's not that cheap shit, flat shit. It's the puff monogram.
Puff.
So
You got
it
you got
looks
texture. Feel
good. Someone's worked up. All right.
Jax agrees.
Sounds like chaos is coming. We are out of here.
Thanks for listening, folks. You have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.